So in this class we will discuss about understand of the age standard cycles, purpose of age standard cycles, definition of age standard cycles, reversible process and reversible cycle, conditions for reversibility and irreversibility, Carnot first. So here what introduction to the age standard cycles. So here the energy is in a prime mover which converts the heat energy into the mechanical energy. So this is according to the law of conservation of energy. According to the law of conservation of energy, the energy cannot be created, however it can be converted from one form to the another form. So here the one form to another form is the heat energy into the mechanical energy, and whereas the prime mover is an engine. Prime mover is an engine. So there are the large number of devices which are available to achieve the conversion process. Achieve the conversion process. So the device used to convert the heat energy into the mechanical energy called as a heat engine, so one common type of the heat engine, generally all of the know it is an internal combustion engine, or in shortcut we called as an IC engine. So full form is internal combustion engine. In the internal combustion engine, the working fluid is mainly air and the fuel mixture, the heat addition, whatever the heat is supplied by the combustion process, and this combustion process takes place within the cylinder. The combustion process takes place in the cylinder. Here the chemical energy of the fuel, is converted into the heat energy. Here the chemical energy of the fuel is converted into the heat energy and then into the useful energy. That useful energy is nothing but the mechanical energy. So that the efficiency of such engines depends on main factors such as a calorific value, because here the combustion takes place at inside the cylinder, and it mainly depends upon the calorific value of the fuel and whatever the heat losses during the combustion process, means through the cylinder walls, etc. So therefore all the actual engines are compared by the means of an ideal engines in which air is assumed to be in a working media. That's why we call it as an air standard cycles. So the heat engine cycle, which consists of an air as a working media, is called as an air cycle. So what is the definition of the air standard cycle? Means the heat engine cycle where air is a working fluid or the working media is called an air cycle. So in this chapter already we will discuss about that, mainly discussed about the Carnot cycle, Otto cycle and the diesel cycle. So all these three cycles depends upon in all these three cycles air is used as a working media, and the difference only between is the heat addition, means heat supplied is only difference of these three cycles. So first again I am telling what is about the air standard cycles. So we all know that according to the law of conservation of energy, so that one form of energy is converted into the another form. So heat energy is converted into the mechanical energy. Here the is called a heat engine. Here the engine is as a prime mover. So generally all the engines consist of the cylinder and the moving piston, that is nothing but the internal combustion engine. So here the working fluid is an air and the fuel. So the combustion takes place inside the cylinder. Burning of the fuel in the cylinder liberates the heat energy. So the engine converts the heat energy into the mechanical energy. The gas in the engine cylinder is subjected to series of operations. So these series of operations we discuss, these are different for the Carnot cycle, Otto cycle and the diesel cycle. So in go on next classes we will discuss for the three different cycles. There are the four series of operations are different only. So these series of operation constitutes a completed a cycle, we call it a thermodynamic cycle. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, the 4 process will go on So this series of operation constitutes in a cycle. So this is about the 8 standard cycles. So now I am discussing define air. So in a standard cycle, air is taken as a working media. This is we are taking it as a reference cycle, and we are comparing all the Otto cycle, diesel cycle, Carnot cycle to the standard. That's why we call it as an air standard cycle. So all these three cycles we are comparing with the theoretical cycle. That's why we called it as an air standard cycle. Next, air standard cycles are used to compare the performance of the actual engines. So in the air standard cycle, air absorbs the heat from the hot body and converts the sum of the heat into the work, and the remaining is rejected into the cold body. So we all know that we are giving some amount of the heat to the system. So this amount of the heat is converted into the work. So that work is nothing but the mechanical energy, and the remaining is rejected into the cold body. So some amount of the work left, so that means heat is rejected, and then the remaining heat is rejected to the cold. So what is the why we are using that the air standard cycle means, so the analysis of internal combustion engine which are working with a different fuels is a difficult task. So the effect of the calorific, here we are combustion is going on inside the cylinder. So the effect of the calorific value of the fuels can be eliminated by using the air as a working fluid. So the air cycle operates in a close approximation to the cycle. So therefore the studying a standard cycle is important. So we all know that the efficiency. So efficiency general meaning is efficiency we can write as output by input. Here but we are talking about here the efficiency as a air standard efficiency. So what is the output here is a mechanical energy. Mechanical energy is nothing but the work done. So work done and amount of the heat given to the system. Amount of the heat. What how it is the work done will be done? What we are giving the some amount of the heat to the system, and it is rejecting some to the cold body. So work done is nothing but heat supplied minus heat rejected by heat supplied. Here we are denoting heat supplied as a Q1 minus heat rejected as a Q2 divided by Q1. So the efficiency of an engine using air as a working media is known as a air standard efficiency. So in exam if they ask define the air standard efficiency means you have to write that. So the efficiency of an engine, so we call it as an air standard efficiency. If you use air as a working media, we call as it is an air standard efficiency. So the efficiency of an engine using air as a working media is known as a air standard efficiency. So air standard efficiency is equal to output by input. So output is nothing but the whatever the work is done by the system, and the input is whatever the heat is given to the system. So work done by the heat supplied. So work done we can write as a heat supplied minus heat rejected divided by heat supplied. So Q1 minus Q2 by Q1. So we can write like this also. Q1 1 minus Q2 by Q1 into 100. So where Q1 is the heat supplied and Q2 is the heat rejected. Next, reversible process. So we all know that what is the reversible process, we had discussed in the first chapter. So the reversible process is nothing but a process that can be reversed so that the system can be restored to its initial state is called the reversible process. So thus the reversible process follows the same path it originally followed. So during this process the system passes through an equilibrium state. So here what the reversible process is, if the system follows 1 to 2, again it reaches from 2 to 1, again it reaches from 2 to 1 means equilibrium state. So the process that can be reversed in this so that the system can be restored to its initial state. What is the initial state here? It is a 1. So 1 to 2 is a one process, and again 2 to 1 is another process. So it again reaches to its initial conditions, restored back to the initial condition. It is called as a reversible process. So here the reversible process follows exact same path, 1 to 2, and again it is following the 2 to 1, exact same path. So it is originally followed. So during this process the system follows the equilibrium. Next, reversible cycle. If the cycle constitute all the reversible process, it is called a reversible cycle. So we all know that to be the cycle is said to be reversible cycle means the process should be both quasi-static process and then a frictionless. So the reversible process is an idealized process that can be that cannot be attained in practical, that cannot be attained in a practical. So a device working on a reversible cycle can be used to absorb the heat from a cold body or to be rejected to a hot body. Therefore, it can be used as a refrigerator or heat pump. Refrigerator or heat pump. So the sequence of all the reversible process such that the system means we are taking as air as a working media returns to its initial state is called as a reversible cycle, means that the cycle consisting of a reversible process, the cycle consisting of a reversible process is called the reversible cycle. So in reversible cycle, so the external power is required for its operation so that the heat can be extracted from the heat can be extracted from the cold body and rejected to a hot body. So here the reversed cycle can be used as a examples where we use the reversible cycle means heat pump or the. So what are the conditions of the reversible cycle means? For the cycle to be reversible, so it has to be the following two conditions must be fulfilled, then only we will say that it is in a reversible cycle. So the working substance must be at the same temperature as the hot body during the heat absorption, and the working substance must be at the same temperature while heat is being rejected. Next, there must be a free expansion, there must be no free expansion or compression, and there should be no friction during the expansion or compression. So these are the four conditions for the reversible cycle. If it satisfied these four conditions only, we will tell that the cycle is in a reversible cycle. So the working substance, here working substance we are taking as air, must be at the same temperature as a hot body during heat absorption, and here same temperature while heat is being rejected. So Q1 Q2, and there is must be no free expansion or free compression, there must be no friction during expansion or compression. Next one is irreversible process. So in irreversible process, so we can tell the with the process which is not an reversible process is called as an irreversible process. The process that are not reversible are called a irreversible process. So it is carried out with a finite gradient, and during the process the system passes through a non-equilibrium state. So the factors which contribute for the irreversible include the friction, unrestricted expansion and heat transfer with a finite temperature difference. So the cycle in which the system passes to the non-equilibrium states is called as an irreversible cycle. So is the irreversible process means the process that are not the reversible are called the reversible process, irreversible process. Like that, the cycle in which the system passes through non-equilibrium states is called as an irreversible cycle. So this one is a irreversible cycle. First cycle is a Carnot cycle. So a Carnot cycle operating in a given temperatures. So here the working substance must be at the same temperature during the absorption and the rejection. There must be no friction due to the compression and the substance. These are the three conditions of the Carnot cycle. Means that the temperature means the temperatures during the expansion and the compression should be same. There is a no free expansion or the compression, and there should be no friction during the expansion or the during expansion and compression. So the PV diagram for the Carnot cycle. PV diagram for the Carnot cycle. So here the 1 to 2 process represents the isothermal expansion. 2 to 3 is the isentropic or adiabatic. We call it as an adiabatic process or the isentropic process. So 2 to 3, 2 to 3 or B to C, we call it as an adiabatic expansion. Adiabatic expansion, and 3 to 4 or C to D is called as an isothermal compression. Isothermal compression, and next 4 to 1, this is an isentropic or adiabatic compression, or we can A, B, C, D, or we can write as a 1, 2, 3, 4 also. Here A to B represents the isothermal expansion. So what is the condition for the isothermal expansion? PV is equal to constant. So K represents the constant, and B to C is an adiabatic expansion. Adiabatic expansion means PV power gamma is equal to constant, where gamma is an adiabatic index, and C to D. C to D is an isentropic compression, and D to A. D to A is an adiabatic compression. Adiabatic compression. Here the A to 3. Here the piston displacement VA to VC. Whatever the volume, here it is called as a piston displacement. So piston displacement, we call as a 1, we can write as a 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 also, and this represents the steady state and the steady flow devices. So the isentropic or adiabatic expansion process is from B to C, and the isentropic compression or adiabatic compression is from 4 to 1, can be simulated quite well by the well designed turbine and the compressor respectively. But the isothermal expansion process A to B and isothermal compression process 3 to 4 are most difficult to the achieve. So because of these difficulties, the steady flow Carnot cycle is not a practical. So the Carnot cycle could also be achieved in a cylinder piston apparatus. Cylinder piston apparatus. The Carnot cycle on the PV diagram is this one. A to B is an isothermal expansion, B to C is an adiabatic expansion, C to D isothermal compression, D to A is an adiabatic compression. So we know that the Carnot cycle efficiency is given by, this one is a TS diagram. Here the temperatures at heat addition and the heat supply both are the same. Here the see the T1 and the T2. So both the temperatures TA is equal to TB. What are the conditions? The temperature having the same limits at the absorption and the compression. So TA and TB is equal. TC and TD are the equal. So isothermal expansion A to B and B to C, adiabatic expansion C to D, isothermal compression D to A, adiabatic compression. This is a TS diagram. So in the exam point of view also, they will ask draw the PV and the TS diagrams of the Carnot cycle and represent the cycle and write the names of the process. Means you have to write A to B as isothermal expansion, B to C as adiabatic expansion, C to D as isothermal compression, D to A as adiabatic compression, or we can write it as say 1, 2, 3, 4 also. It is your convenience. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4 also. So this is a TS diagram. The sequence of the operations in the Carnot cycle. So A to B is an isothermal, we call it as an isothermal expansion. So air receives heat from a source at a constant temperature T1 and expands. Here we are told that the absorption heat receiving the temperature are same. So A to B is called an isothermal expansion. So the air receives heat from the source at constant temperature and expands. Next, B to C is an air expands further isentropically. So no heat transfer is takes place, and here the temperature is decreases to T2. Here the temperature is decreases to C to D is an isothermal compression. Air rejects to the sink. Here heat is supplied. Here heat is rejected. We are here heat is supplied. QS. Q, yes, heat supplied, and here heat is rejected, QR. T2, QR, heat rejected QR at constant temperature T2. At point C and point D it has the same temperature. C2D is an isothermal compression. Air rejects heat to the sink at constant temperature T2 and get compressed. Get compressed. Heat is rejected. So sink is nothing but the cold body. And next D2A. So here the no heat is rejected. So work is done on the system. As a result, the temperature is increases from here the temperature is increases from T2 to T1. See that the arrow also here the temperature is increasing from T2 to T1 and the system means nothing but the air as a working media return to its initial state to complete the cycle. So here again it reaches the point A to complete the cycle. So all the above process are satisfy the conditions of the reversible process. So all the above process are reversible process. Therefore we can say that the Carnot cycle is a reversible process and it is in a highest possible efficiency and highest possible efficiency. So again I am telling that there are the four process A to B, B to C, C to D and D to A. So A to B we called as an isothermal expansion where heat is supplied from the source. Source is nothing but the hot body at a high temperature T1. At a high temperature T1 and adiabatic expansion no heat is supplied. However, the work is done by the expense of an internal energy. As a result, here the temperature falls from a T1 to the temperature T2. Here the point B to point C, here the temperatures falls from the T1 to T2. Next, isothermal compression. C2D is an isothermal compression. Heat is rejected to the sink, nothing but the cold body at a low temperature T2. D2A, adiabatic compression. So, no heat is rejected. So, work is done on the system. As a result, the temperature is increases from a T2 to T1. T2 to T1 and the system is returned to its initial state to complete the cycle. So, all the it satisfies the conditions of the reversible process. So, we can tell this as a Carnot cycle is a reversible process. So, the Carnot cycle is a reversible cycle. All the above process we call these process are reversible process and the cycle is called the reversible cycle and it is in a highest possible efficiency and has the highest possible efficiency. Next we will discuss about the air standard efficiency. Air standard efficiency. Next, ratio of expansion is equal to ratio of compression. Compression here process A to B. We are taking this a PV diagram. Isothermal expansion. So heat transferred is equal to work done. So heat in is equal to what is here? Heat is supplied in a to B process. So heat in is equal to work done between the process A to B. So it is an isothermal process. We can write as a we know that during work done during the isothermal process is equal to RT log V2 by V1. So V2 by V1 is nothing but the expansion ratio. Here the expansion ratio here we are representing A, B, C, D. So I am writing V2 by V1 as a VB by VA. So work done during the AB process is a RT log E base E V2 by V1 means VB by VA. Next, for the process there is no B to C, there is no heat transfer, that is why 0 to the CD. Here also isothermal expansion we can write as a R2 to log R. So R is equal to VC by VD. R is called as an here ratio of a isothermal compression. So here the process D to A is also heat transferred is also 0. So assumptions. So what are the assumptions made in the Carnot cycle means? So the working substance must be at any instant be at the same temperature so that the hot sources will while heat is being observed. So we already discussed that whatever the assumptions means you have to maintain the same temperature at a heat supplied and the heat rejected also. So the working fluid must be the same temperatures at the hot and body and the cold body while heat is being added and heat is been rejected. Next, there must be no free expansion or the compression, and there must be no imperfectly restricted expansions or the compressions. So, what are the conditions made in the reversible cycle? That are all the assumptions of the Carnot cycle. So, Carnot cycle satisfy all these conditions, hence it is in a reversible cycles. So, the reversible Carnot cycle A to B, B to C, C to D, here it is not B, it is in a D, is applied to the heat pumps and the refrigerators. Heat pumps and the refrigerators. Next, already we discussed that the heat supplied during the expansion process is heat supplied is a P1 V1 log V2 by V1. Here we are taking A to B, means that's why PA VA log VB by VA. So, or we can write as an RT1 log VB by VA. Heat rejected we can write as a P3 V3 log V3 by V4 or RT2 log V3 by. So, we all know that the efficiency is equal to output by input. So, output is equal to work done by the heat supplied. So, output is equal to work done by the heat supplied. So, what is the work done here? Heat supplied minus heat rejected. What is the work done here? Heat supplied minus heat rejected. So, RT log VB by VA minus RT log VC by VD. So, we can write as a heat supplied here Qs and QR value and Qs value, in the whole that the R as a common will get cancelled as a R, and we can take as a VB by VA and VD by, here VC by VD, not this one is a VD pen, it is VC by VD. So, we all know that the adiabatic expansion process takes place in a 2 to 3. So, I am writing the T1 by T2 as a, or TA by TB is equal to VC by VB gamma minus 1, and like that T1 by T2 is equal to VD by VA gamma minus 1. So, we can write this equation as a VC by VB is equal to VD by VA, and VB by VA is equal to VC by VD are both the equal. The compression ratio and the expansion ratio are the equal. So, I am writing this whole is equal to R. So, we can write this equation as a 1 minus T2 by T1. So, Carnot cycle efficiency is nothing but is equal to the air standard efficiency as the air as a working substance. So, there is no derivation for the C18 curriculum. So, just that's why I skip it fastly. So, you have to remember only the formula. Efficiency of the Carnot cycle is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, where we call T2 as a temperature at source, and T1 as a temperature at the sink. So, T1 and T2 we have to represent. So, T1 is nothing but the maximum temperature, T2 is a minimum temperature. T1 is a minimum temperature. High temperature is T1 and low temperature is a T2. So, in the problems how to identify the T1, T2 for the Carnot cycle means simply remember for the whatever the temperature is high is numbers, if they given the 440 and the 25, 440 is a T1 and 25 is a T2. Between the two values, which is the highest number, it is a T1 and the lowest value is the T2. It is applicable only for the Carnot cycle, and the efficiency of the Carnot cycle and the air standard efficiency both are the same. So, Carnot cycle is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. So, here mainly we can tell that the Carnot cycle efficiency depends only upon the temperature range only, and it is independent upon the properties of the fluid. So, the expression is applicable only for any fluid, whether it may be a gas or the vapor, whether it may be a gas or the vapor. So, Carnot cycle is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. T1 is the highest temperature, T2 is the lowest temperature, means maximum temperature is T1, T2 is the minimum temperature. Next. Significance of the Carnot cycle. Efficiency of Carnot cycle is given by 1 minus T2 by T1. So, the above equation is evident that the efficiency of the cycle depends only on the temperature limits and it is independent upon the properties of the. So, what is the significance? We can tell is the Carnot cycle having the maximum efficiency among all the cycles when operating at the same temperature limits. Hence, the efficiency of different cycles working with the different fuels can be compared with the efficiency of Carnot cycle with operating the same temperature limits. So, we are some limitations of the Carnot cycles are also. What is the limitations? No actual engine will operate on a Carnot cycle particularly. In Carnot engine, it would be necessary for the piston to move very slowly during the isothermal expansion and the piston would move very quickly in adiabatic expansion. So, these variation of the piston speed would not be a practically possible as the PV diagram of the cycle is a very narrow compared with the length of the stroke. So, thus the very long piston stroke produces a small amount of the work, most of the which would be absorbed by the friction of the moving parts of the engine. So, hence the cycle develops a very small amount of the work which may not be sufficient to overcome the function between the piston and the cylinder. So, in the Carnot cycle, the piston should move very slowly in isothermal process and very fast in adiabatic the possible in the Carnot which is not possible practically. So, how to improve the efficiency of the Carnot cycle means the efficiency of the Carnot cycle is improved by increasing the higher temperature T1 value by keeping the lower temperature T2 as a constant or by decreasing the lower temperature T2 by keeping the higher temperature as a constant. So, in the second method, the increase in the efficiency is more for the some amount of change in temperature. So, these are because efficiency is directly 1 minus T2 by T1. If the denominator value is T1 value is increasing, keeping the T2 as a constant, we can increase the Carnot efficiency or by decreasing the T2 value and keeping the T1 denominator as a constant value, also we can improve the efficiency of the Carnot cycle. So, in the second method, the increase in the efficiency is a more for the some amount of a change in temperature. So, this is all about the Carnot cycle. So, we will see the
In 1824,
animation of
Sadi
the
Carnot designed
Carnot
a
cycle.
theoretical heat engine whose working efficiency was 100%. Heat engines are devices that can convert heat into mechanical energy, like a steam engine or a motor vehicle. The working principle of all heat engines are the same, in which any working substance, gas or vapor, is brought back to the initial stage by going through different thermodynamic stages of a cyclic process. Carnot suggested that if a heat engine goes through fixed thermodynamic stages of a specified process, then the efficiency of the heat engine may be 100% possible. This is called the Carnot engine or ideal heat engine. Why ideal heat engine? Because this engine gives maximum efficiency. No other engine can be more efficient than this. This specified cyclic process suggested by the Carnot is called Carnot cycle. The Carnot engine has three main parts. First, an insulated non-conducting stand, so that the transfer of energy is not possible. Second, a hot reservoir with infinite heat capacity. Heat capacity is infinite so that the temperature of the reservoir remains constant after taking any amount of energy from it. It is also called heat source. Third, a cold reservoir. Its heat capacity is also infinite, so that any amount of heat is given, its temperature does not change. This is called heat sink. Fourth, a cylinder in which the working substance can be kept. Working substance can be anything, gas or liquid. The cylinder is fitted with a movable piston. The piston and the cylinder walls are made up of non-conducting material, due to which transfer of heat is not possible, while the base of the cylinder is conducting. Carnot engine goes through four different stages of the Carnot cycle, which is graphically displayed on a PV graph. For this, first place the cylinder on the hot reservoir. Since the temperature of the reservoir is higher than the temperature of the gas, the heat flows from the hot reservoir to the gas, due to which the gas starts to expand. Since due to heat transfer gas is expanding, therefore the temperature of the gas remains constant. This process is called isothermal expansion. As the gas expands, the volume of the gas increases and the pressure decreases. Next step, take off the cylinder from the hot reservoir and place it on the insulating stand. When doing so, the gas is confined to the non-conducting wall. Now let piston rise slowly upward, due to which the gas continues to expand. But this time the gas is not getting any amount of heat to expand. Such expansion is called adiabatic expansion. Since this expansion is taking place without heat, the temperature of the gas starts to decrease. Due to this expansion, the volume of the gas also increases and the pressure decreases. Step, lift the cylinder from the stand and place it on the cold reservoir. Now press the piston downward, which causes compression of the gas. The reservoir absorbs whatever extra heat is produced due to the compression of the gas. In this way, the gas compresses at the same constant temperature. Process is called isothermal compression. Due to this compression, the volume of the gas decreases and the pressure is increased. In the final step, again keeping the cylinder on the stand and press the piston downward. But now there is no cold reservoir to absorb the heat getting produced extra. Therefore, the temperature of the gas starts increasing. This compression is called adiabatic compression. Press the piston until the temperature of the gas rises back to equal that of the hot reservoir. This decreases the volume of the gas and increases the pressure. At the end of this step, the gas returns to its initial state. This complete cycle is called the Carnot cycle, and the engine working on it is called the Carnot engine. The efficiency of a Carnot engine depends on the temperature of the both reservoirs. Either raise the temperature of the hot reservoir to infinite Kelvin or low down the temperature of the cold reservoir to 0 Kelvin. In both cases, the efficiency will be 100%, but it is not possible to do so. Hence, the Carnot engine is just a theoretical ideal engine. To increase the efficiency of a practical engine, we keep as much as difference as possible in the temperature of both reservoirs.
So we will solve some numerical problems based on the Carnot cycle. So first question. An engine produces 10 kilojoules as a work while 80 kilojoules enters the engine cycle as a heat. Determine the energy rejected and the thermal efficiency of cycle. So what's the given? The given mention it is in a Carnot cycle, means the thermal efficiency of a cycle. So first read the question carefully and write the given data. An engine produces 10 kilojoules as a work, means work output as a 10 kilojoules, and next while 80 kilojoules enter the engine cycle as a heat. So the heat input is equal to 80 kilojoules. So determine the energy rejected. So how much amount of the heat is rejected we have to calculate, and the thermal efficiency. So we know that the efficiency of the Carnot cycle is equal to output by input. So what is the output here? So amount of the work done by the system, and input is whatever the heat is given to the system. So efficiency is equal to W by Q. So efficiency is equal to W by Q. First, so we have to calculate the W. So W out is equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected. So we can write heat supplied means we are giving heat to the system. So Q in minus Q out. So we want to calculate the Q out. So in the data they given the W work done. W means the work done by the system. Output work. So we are representing W OUT out, and Q in means what is the amount of the heat supplied to the system, and what is the amount of the heat rejected is a Q out. So Q out is equal to, we can write as a Q in minus Q out. Q in minus W out. Q in minus W out. So in the data they given Q in is equal to 80. Q out is equal to 10. So 80 minus 10 is equal to 70 kilojoules. Next, we want to calculate the thermal efficiency. Thermal efficiency is nothing but W by Qn. So we can write directly W value or Q in minus Q out. So you can write the W also 10. 10 divided by 80, or otherwise 80 minus 70 also 10 only. So 10 divided by 80 or 80 minus 70. So 10 divided by 80 we will go to 0.125. So in terms of efficiency means percentage, it is a 12.5 percentage. So you have to remember only the two things. What is the efficiency of the Carnot cycle? So efficiency is equal to output by input. So output is equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected divided by heat rejected. Heat supplied, Q in minus Q out divided by Q in, or in terms of temperature is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. T1 is the maximum temperature, T2 is the minimum temperature. So we will go to the next problem. A Carnot cycle operates between 900 degrees centigrade and 100 degrees centigrade. Determine the efficiency of cycle, the heat rejected and the useful work output if 100 kilojoules enter the cycle as a heat. A Carnot cycle. In the problem itself mentioned it is in a Carnot cycle. Given the two temperatures 900 degrees centigrade and 100 degrees cent. So highest one maximum temperature is a T1, minimum temperature is a T2. Determine the efficiency of the cycle. So we know that the Carnot efficiency in terms of a temperature efficiency is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, and heat rejected. Heat rejected is nothing but Q2, and the useful work output W. So W is equal to Q1 minus Q2 if 100 kilojoules enters the cycle as a heat, and enters means we are giving heat to the cycle. So 100 kilojoules represents a Q1. So upper temperature T1. So you have to remember in two temperatures which temperature is a more, that one is a higher temperature, that represents with the T1, that one represents a T1. Lower temperature T2, 100 degrees centigrade we converted into the Kelvin, 900 plus 273, 1173 Kelvin. 2 is equal to 100 plus 273, 373 Kelvin. Heat input Q1 is equal, or heat supplied, we can write as a heat supplied or heat input Q1 or QS or Qn, we can write anyways. Q1 is equal to 100 kilojoules. So what they has determined the efficiency of this cycle. So what is the efficiency in terms of temperature? We can write efficiency is equal to 1 minus T2. Efficiency is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. T1 minus T2. So I am LCM onwards, T1 minus T2 divided by T1. So 1173 minus 373 divided by 1173. So we will get 68.2 percentage. So we will get 0.682. So into 100 means 68.2 percentage. So efficiency, another formula also we know that efficiency is equal to W by heat supplied. W by heat supplied. So we want the work done. So I am writing the work done is equal to efficiency into heat input. So we know that the efficiency is equal to this heat input come to this side becomes in denominator. But in the problem they ask to calculate work output. So simply I am bringing this here heat input to the LHS side. So efficiency into heat input. So already we got the efficiency as a, you have to take this one 0.682 and heat input they given as a 100. So 0.682 into 100 kilojoules. So they given heat input in terms of a kilojoules. So we will get the work done also in terms of a kilojoules. 0.682 into 100 means 68.2 kilojoules. So mainly the Carnot cycle has only two formulas. One is the in terms of temperature and another one is the work done divided by heat supplied. Efficiency is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. So T1 minus T2 minus T1, we are doing the LCM, it becomes a T1 minus T2 by T1. So substituting all the temperature values by seeing the data, we will get the 0.682. So multiply with 100, we will get in terms of a percentage. So after knowing that the efficiency, so in the problem they asked to calculate the work done. So work done is equal to, so we know that after knowing the efficiency, it is easy to calculate the work done. Efficiency is equal to work done by heat supplied or heat input or Q1, whatever we can write like this, that is the heat supplied. So we want only work output. So I am putting it is on a RHS side and bringing this heat input to the LHS side. It becomes efficiency into heat input 0.682 into 100, 68.2 kilojoules. And in the problem, one more question also there, they asked the heat rejected. So we can write this work output as also as a whatever the amount of the heat supplied minus heat rejected. Heat supplied minus heat rejected. Heat supplied means heat in, heat rejected means heat out. Q. So work output is equal to heat input minus heat rejected. Heat input minus heat rejected. So already we got the work output and we got the heat input in the data, and you have to calculate the heat rejected. So heat rejected is equal to heat input minus work output. Substitute the value heat input, the problem they given as 100 and work output we got as a 68.2. So 31.8 kilojoules is the heat rejected. 31.8 is the heat rejected. So only you have to remember only two formulas of the Carnot cycle. Efficiency is equal to 1 minus T2 minus T1, and we have to remember that T1 is a higher temperature, means maximum temperature, T2 is the lower temperature, that is the minimum temperature. So observing the two values in the data, which one is the more number, highest number, it is the T1 and the lowest number is the T2. Next, the efficiency is equal to work done by the heat supplied, and we can write the work done as also as a heat supplied minus heat rejected. Heat rejected. Summary: in this period, we learned about the air standard cycles, and definition of the air standard cycle, what is the purpose of air standard cycle, reversible process, reversible process and reversible cycle, conditions for reversibility and Carnot cycle, and animation of the Carnot cycle, and some basic formula, basic problems of the Carnot cycle. So in the next class, we will discuss about the some problems on the Carnot cycle and then the Otto cycle process and Otto cycle derivation. If time permits, we will do some problems on Otto cycle also. Thank you.